All right, everybody, buckle up, because today we are diving headfirst into the wild world of internet
They're
memes.
going deep.
Yeah, this is not just about looking at funny pictures.
Wow.
This is about really understanding what makes them tick.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking about why some just absolutely explode and go viral, how memes have become their own language online,
Right.
and even, get this, their potential psychological effects.
It's fascinating, yeah.
So when we talk about memes, I mean, I think a lot of people, their mind might immediately go to, grumpy cat or distracted boyfriend, these sort of like classic images. But it's so much more than that, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. And you've hit on a really important point there. When we talk about memes, we're not just talking about the image itself. We're talking about the spread of an idea. It's this cultural information that gets repackaged, it gets shared, and crucially, it mutates as it spreads across the internet.
So it's not just about, like you said, the image. It's about the idea that the image is conveying and how that then takes on a life of its own.
Yeah. And that's what makes it a meme. Think about, like, you mentioned distracted boyfriend. How many different iterations of that have you seen with different captions, different contexts?
Oh, countless. I mean, I feel like I've seen everything. And that kind of brings us to, I think, a really key point, which is this idea of the meme life cycle. Because you have something like distracted boyfriend, it seems like it came out of nowhere.
It exploded.
Hugely popular, everyone is sharing it, and then just as quickly as it came, it's almost old news.
Mhm.
So is there a pattern to how these things sort of rise and fall in popularity?
There really is. I mean, you can almost chart it like a life cycle.
Hmm.
And understanding the different types of memes is key here. Like you said, image macros, distracted boyfriend, those tend to have that very quick burn.
Okay.
But then you have things like reaction images, GIFs. Those find new life constantly because they're used as reactions to different situations.
I see. So it's almost like they're evergreen in a way because they can be applied to so many different situations.
Exactly, yeah.
Now I'm really curious about the psychology of this. Like, what makes us as humans want to share these things? Why is it so satisfying to see a meme, get a chuckle out of it, but then also feel this, like, almost this urge to share it with everyone we know?
I mean, part of it is that, who doesn't love a good laugh?
Right.
Studies show that when we share funny things, like memes, our brains release dopamine. It makes us feel good.
Okay.
So there's this positive feedback loop. But I think it goes even deeper than that.
Okay, how so?
It's about connection, and when you share a meme, you're saying, hey, I get this. And I think you might too. We're in this together.
Yeah. It's like an inside joke, but it's with potentially millions of people online.
Exactly. And that's where memes become these really interesting cultural mirrors.
Right.
They reflect what's happening right now, the trends, the anxieties, the shared experiences. So they could be funny, sure, but they can also be social commentary.
Yeah.
They could be satire. They can even be a form of protest.
We've seen memes spark real-world movements, haven't we?
Absolutely, it's incredible. Something that started as like a silly image macro can become a tool for change. I think that's amazing. But of course, like any powerful tool, there's a flip side.
Right.
It's not all sunshine and rainbows.
Yeah. What about the potential downsides? I mean, we've seen how, information spreads online and how things can get, twisted and maybe not used for the best purposes.
Exactly, and that's the thing about memes. The same mechanisms that make them great for humor or for having these important conversations,
Right.
they also make them very, very effective for spreading misinformation.
Oh, absolutely.
It's so easy to manipulate an image, you put a catchy phrase with it, and suddenly people are accepting it as fact.
Yeah.
And we've seen that happen time and time again.
So where does that leave us? I mean, we've talked about all these different aspects of memes, and it's obviously a really complex issue. What do we do with this information?
I think the big takeaway here is just being aware.
Hmm.
We have to be critical consumers of information, especially online. Don't believe everything you see, even if it's wrapped up in a funny meme.
That's such a good point. We can't just turn off our critical thinking skills just because something makes us laugh.
Exactly.
So, next time you are scrolling through your feed and you see a hilarious meme and you're about to hit that share button, maybe take a moment, just a beat, and think about what you're sharing. What message are you helping to amplify? Because whether we realize it or not, when we share something, we're becoming part of that meme's life cycle. And that, I think, is something we're thinking about.